Top of the morning to you, and the rest of the day as well. I'm James Francis Smith. I'm an historian and an author. My historically based novels extend from the ancient Celts, the founders of Europe, the Kennedy era, Vietnam, and beyond. Let me throw a little more light on the subject. I was in grammar school when World War II ended. On weekends, our families gathered around and listened to relatives tell of their wartime experiences. Even as I speak, World War II is fading from memory. That's why I wrote my 600-page historical novel, The O'Donnells of Philadelphia. For the money, it's the best historical reference book covering that period you will ever read. Why? Because every chapter covers a year from the end of World War I, 1918, to the end of World War II, 1945. For example, if you want to know about the Battle of Guadalcanal, turn to chapter 20, America Strikes. This chapter includes the Flying Tigers, touches on Doolittle's raid, takes the reader through the Battle of the Coral Sea, the air raids of London, life in Philadelphia on the home front, North Africa, Midway, the Canadian disastrous invasion of France, and Guadalcanal. But just don't read it. Imagine you're with the fictional O'Donnell family, listening to a brother, an uncle, or a cousin who had served. In today's video, Matt O'Donnell describes a World War II battle in Europe's Hurgan Forest, a battle that cost more American lives than the Battle of the Bulge. And let me read you a little of that. When Matt began, he looked directly at me, ignoring the others, speaking as though he had been a spectator rather than a participant. Rory, you're destined to be the author in the family, so when you write your first book, I pray you include a mention of this. Our outfit, the 28th, shipped out of England in 1943. We were tough, because Omer Bradley had trained us well. We were so respected by the Germans that they bestowed the nickname, the Bloody Bucket, on us because of our Keystone insignia. We participated in the Normandy invasion, fought the Battle of the Hedgerows, paraded through Paris, and last year, on September 11th, we were the first Americans to enter Germany. We thought the war was over. Then we were ordered into the Hutgenwald. Hurgan Forest covers about 50 square miles and overlaps the German-Belgian border south of the ancient city of Aachen. Hitler's renowned West Wall, we called it the Siegfried Line, runs through the center of the forest. High, thick branches stretched 20 to 30 feet from the trunk, when drooping with heavy snow, blocked the light to give the area a cave-like appearance. Trucks and tanks could only move on the narrow trails and fire breaks. Personnel had it even worse, only being able to advance in stooped-over positions or by crawling on their bellies. Winter came early in 1944, with temperatures hovering near freezing. As dominating as the forest itself, the defensive systems constructed over decades were almost indestructible. At the higher elevation, The Germans had built thousands of concrete pillboxes and bunkers fronted by dragon's teeth, the best tank stoppers in the world. Artillery and machine gun emplacements provided a supporting field of fire to defy the bravest of intruders. They booby-trapped logs to block the narrow trails, even booby-trapped the booby traps. Pre-sighted artillery and mortar fire blanketed the surrounding terrain, adding to the deadly cost of invading the fatherland. 60-ton Panzer tanks, supported by 88mm guns, machine guns, and heavy mortars, potato mashers too, counterattacked for every front we advanced. Wounded had to be carried on stretchers to the rear, the dead left on the frozen ground. The Battle of Hutgenwald began in September of 1944 and continued until March of 1945. The 9th Infantry, along with the 3rd Armored, went in first. The bigwigs expected it to be a short campaign. After the 9th had been totally chewed up, our division was thrown in. Once again, Matt internalized. And why wouldn't we be there? Pennsylvania's National Guard fought in every American engagement from the Revolution to World War II. In this one, we were almost annihilated. One battalion of 900 returned with only 60. We lost over 7,000 before we were replaced with the 4th Infantry. We had been on the line less than 2 weeks. There were over 60,000 Americans killed, wounded, or missing before the forest was conquered. More killed than in the Battle of the Bulge. After suffering unconscionable losses in the Hutgenwald, the exhausted 9th Infantry, 28th, and 4th Infantry divisions were all sent to get some R&R along a line in the Ardennes. Within weeks, our undermanned units faced the December 16th German counterattack that Churchill designated the Battle of the Bulge. Is it any wonder why the Germans had it so easy in the early going? Look for my historically based novels, available in Kindle, Nook, and in softcover from Amazon. They won't break the bank.